guest today is a vocalist and songwriter known worldwide for her work in the bands Nightwish and Dark Element. Releasing her third solo record, let's talk about the upcoming album, projects, and more with Anette Olzon. Hi Annette, it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Your first solo album, Shine, had a melancholic mood with a positive message. In the second, Strong, you brought a darker and heavier side. Listening to the singles released so far for Rapture, we can already get a sample of what this upcoming work is sounding like. But after listening to the finished album yourself, how does this new work sound to you?
Yeah, as you say, it's getting darker and darker. No, but surely I think three albums have had this kind of sad
Mm.
vision, and I've only increased that. But for the music wise, in Rapture, it's a bit bigger. I've done it bigger than Strong, for instance, more symphonic instruments and more choirs, a little bit more bombastic,
Mm.
which I tried out in Strong. But then when you have tried out first, you can do it more. So, but in the mood, yeah, it's getting darker, and maybe it's because I think the world is kind of darker and darker. With Shine, it was in 2000. I think I did it like in 2009, recorded it or something. I was in kind of quite a happy mood. Even I was talking more about my childhood
Mm.
and things like that. But otherwise, I was in a good spirit. I don't think the world was that kind of dark. But then Strong was COVID, and it was kind of dark and we were locked in and everything and such things. And now I think the world is even within more things darker and more stressful for so many people with all the wars and all the things like that we see every day. And the newspapers are only filled with boring, bad stuff every day. So yeah, they are getting darker and darker. I don't know if I do a fourth, what it will be. Maybe that the album cover will be totally black or something. I don't know, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah, true, definitely.
Mm.
Unlike your previous bands, in your solo career, you have participated in the composition of all songs and lyrics, featuring some great harmonies, which are a trademark of your vocal style. This album was
Mm.
produced by Magnus Carlsen, the fourth time you guys teamed up, if I'm not wrong. How has working with him helped you develop your creative process?
Actually, the albums are produced by me mainly, but of
Wow.
course, yeah, but we co-share. But of course, I am the producer. I am the one. But no, I think the harmonies and all the vocalizings. That's all me. That's everything is what I want to have. So he's my musical instrument, to be honest. He is the person that gets the music up. Otherwise, it's me. And I've always loved to do harmonies. When I'm in the studio, the most fun thing is when I get in to do all the harmonies and choirs. And I started out in the last album, Strong, to do some harmonies here and there, tried it out a little bit. And this time I wanted to do it even more. I think you have also computer choirs, of course, you can have that. So when Magnus sends me demos for ideas that he have, normally he puts on some choirs from the computer just to get some feeling of the song. And then if I like that one, I take that part and I put my choirs in that, when I record it. Sometimes I have the digital harmonies in the back. So sometimes the idea from it all can come from Magnus in the way that he tries to make a song sound a bit more interesting for me when I listen for the demo. And if I like the harmonies, I keep them and I put some lyrics on them, for instance. But I think harmonies are fun. I've been singing a lot in choirs when I was younger, and I think for symphonic metal and the thing that I think I'm doing, it's actually a nice element to have in the music. Long answer, sorry.
No, no, appreciate it. And Rapture is your seventh work with Frontiers Records, which in addition to these two solo albums, also included an album feat Rachel Allen, vocals for the Japanese group Ultima Grace, and two works with the band The Dark Element. What has
Mm.
it been like to participate in different projects through this label? Can we expect some sequels to these works?
Actually, Alan, also we have done two albums for, and I think we will do a third as soon as Russell has some time. I hope so. And the Dark Element, we will have to see. But yeah, I think it's fun. Frontiers are quite good at what they do. That they kind of asked maybe two singers to work together, or that
Mm.
they have these ideas. Hey, we have Anette, maybe we could put her with Russell. That would be an interesting thing. So I think, they are very good at trying out different projects, as we call them, project bands. It's not a band. So I think it's helped me to get to know other people like Yanni and Russell and Magnus, who actually has been so important for my solo career. So I think it's good. Frontiers are really good at this. So it's been good for me.
Now in 2024, it will be 10 years since the release of Shine, which is my favorite work of your career, mostly because
Thank
it
you.
brings pop elements combined with Nordic melancholy. It was a very important album when it was released at that point in your career, personally and professionally. 10 years later, how do you see this record in your discography?
I think it's an amazing album. I'm very proud of it. I think what we did there was so different from what I do with the albums today, where I don't sit down with like Magnus, we send files back and forth. What we did with the Bugge's team, Stefan, Johan, and I, we sat down in the studio and just, by the piano and just, oh, here's some melody. And we tried, the organ. Oh, we should have a fun instrument here. And we just did it. And I'm really proud of that album. I would love to do more albums like Shine, of course, but also I have a fan base within the bit harder rock metal style. So you have to, many people love that album, but I think many people also want to have me in this kind of metal rock style. But I'm very proud of the album, really proud. I think the songs are amazing. I don't listen so much to it now, 10 years later, but when I do, I'm still very, very proud.
Yes, and as you said, as the world goes darker, I think we need more than ever more Shine songs, you know. So hopefully,
Yeah, we should. Maybe a positive album next time.
yes, yes. In the last decade, you have also developed a new career working in the health sector, which is something that
Mm.
demands a lot of empathy, energy, and love within the society. I have already seen you commenting on some of this experience, but how do you feel that this daily contact with people impacted your artistic side?
I think I've always been a very empathic person. It's always been that thing. Even when I've been in bands, I've been the person that, how are you? Do you want some coffee? I'm the person like a coffee mom. I always get there with the coffee and the buns. I still do that. I'm a very caretaking person. So when I was out of the band Nightwish, I needed to think about what should I do with my life now? I need to have like an education. And I actually have been studying a lot before Nightwish within the behavioral science field. I wanted to be like a life coach or something. That's also where you help people. But I decided to go into nursing because there will always be a job for you.
Mm.
And I always, when I've entered a hospital ever since I was a kid, I always been like, oh, I would love to work here. I want to have those clothes on, and I would like to be a nurse. There was something, Florence Nightingale kind of thing, like I want to help people. So I actually feel very proud. And I think in the artistic world, as a musician, as a singer, it's very, what do you call it, superficial. I mean, it's very on the surface mainly.
Mm.
It's about looks, appearance, a lot. And you're kind of a bit of like a narcissist. You have to talk about yourself and all these things that we do now. When I'm a nurse, it's not about me. I don't have to look in a special way. I have same clothes as everyone. It's really relaxing, I must say, to have that, to be another person. So for me, it's a freedom. I really like to be a nurse because it's not about me. It's about other people within singing and the artistry. It's full focus on me, all the time. So I don't know if I can explain it better than that, but it gives me a lot in my heart.
Not long ago, you shared an old beautiful video in which you are pregnant and performing a solo song at a big event in Sweden, if I'm not wrong. A decade later, that baby is now your son Mio, and he's already participating in this new album, surely making his
Yeah.
mother proud. You and your husband are musicians, so I would like to know what has it been like to see your artistic influence reflected in your children?
I mean, when your children are on the stage singing or playing, I mean, it feels so, how can I say, that they like music, that I can give that to them, because music even if it also can be stressful when you work with it, as I did for many years. For me, music is, if I'm sad and I listen to music, I immediately get happy and calm, and it can lift your spirits. And I also know with patients, like we talked about with the nursing, if you have an older person that is like having dementia, music can help them to feel better. So I'm really proud. I cry all the time when I see my children on stage with the schools, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but so I'm happy that me and Johan have had that opportunity to be musicians, and maybe that's why they have gotten this love for music.
For those who have followed you for a long time, they know about your passion for fashion, since the time you kept a blog full of fun stories to read, also the different looks you wore in each show, music videos or photo shoot, to the present day when you post weekly content with your new exhibitions on social media. But how did fashion become part of your form of expression?
I normally try to explain that when I was a kid, my mother divorced my father when I was very young, and she was a single mom of 3 children, and she didn't have so much money, but she also was a seamstress, so she could make clothes. So for all my childhood, I only had homemade clothes on. And it was really, it was hard because you could get laughed at in school when they knew you had homemade clothes. So in a way, it was hard for me. And I think that's why I've gotten this clothes interest, because then when I got money myself and I started to be able to buy Levi's jeans or something, a brand, I had to do it even more, because for so many years, I couldn't get any clothes that other children had. So I think that's a part of it. But I've always been really interested in clothes, but not fashion, because I'm quite bad at fashion. I don't think I'm fashion at all. I think I have a very crazy own style, as you know, from the stage. Sometimes the outfits I had on was like there, and it still is, but I do like to be creative. I think that's the thing. I love to be creative, and I can put on clothes to make me feel a certain way, also in videos, like we say, the video for Rapture is my own styling, and I want it to be really, really dark. It should be a bit gothic and feathers. And then I just think it's so fun to sit in the internet shops and like, what should I get? Okay, this is fun. And then I just put it in. So I'm not a fashionista, because I don't have any sense of fashion, but I do love colors and clothes. But I think some of it might have to do with my childhood, where I didn't get any bought clothes. That it's been kind of something that I really love now. And I do have a lot of clothes, and I shouldn't get so many clothes, but I love clothes. But I'm good, because I'm buying a lot of secondhand clothes at the moment. So I'm good for the environment also at the moment.
Great. But yeah, it would be like lovely to see even some kind of event with you could like maybe put all of your iconic clothes that you had in your career, like, because I believe you still have many of them. So
yeah, I think I did like a newspaper thing in Menaiset when I was in Tadet, where we actually checked some of my clothing. So I remember that they came and we looked, and we talked about clothes. So, and I've also done something here in Sweden. So I have done some of it. I would love to, have a little, like a boutique with selling my clothes or something, like secondhand or something. But we'll see when I have time for that. That would be a dream, to have a little shop.
Well, let's hope for.
Yes.
Time is something that tests many things. And I believe that every single day you receive messages and comments about the importance that your voice had through Dark Passion Play and Imaginarium as a soundtrack of so many lives, showing the power of that legacy. After so many years, how do you receive that affection and connection with fans, whether online or in person?
Yeah, I mean, no matter the history and what has happened, and all the kind of negative things I've also gotten, I get lots of love every day. If you check my Instagram, every day there's Insta stories with songs that they put up from Dark Passion Play. And as you say, I also get these stories. Your song in that time helped me when I was a teenager. I was feeling bad at school, I was mocked, and it's hard to describe, but I understand the meaning of that, because you and we also had those kind of idols when we were younger, and how important it was to get a message from them. And I think that for me, as a social media person that has an Instagram and Facebook, I really try to, if I don't, answer everyone with a long meaning or something, I always answer a heart or something. So they know that I read every single comment, because I do. I have 59,000 followers in Instagram, so it's not that much. You can always be able to send a heart. But I just get really warm in my heart because I know that I have done something. It's kind of like the nursing again. I've done something that makes someone feel better. So I'm really happy that songs can give people that kind of love and those feelings.
Annette's new album Rapture is coming out on May 10th via Frontiers Records, showing once again her unique, talented voice. I hope everyone likes the album. If you want to know more about upcoming details, news, fashion tips, and more, search for Anette Olzon Official on all social networks. Annette, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you enjoyed this interview. Would you like to leave a final message?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching and following me. And I would like to say that the single is out actually in a couple of days. I don't know when you're going to show this, but April 16th, Rapture single is out. So I hope everyone will like it. It's an amazing video done by Patrick Uleus. That's all.